Hello. I am working on a little something and I felt like recording it. I'm going to pause this. I had this chimes, rain, thunder, and wind ambience sound going on. So, the major question is, how do we get what we want? What? Scusate. Hopefully that sound wasn't too bad. And so where I want to start is starting with what we have um, and from where we are, because what I've noticed myself doing often is I'll think, okay, I want to do this thing, I want this experience in my life, and then I'll think that, okay, before I can get there, I have to, like, even before I can get on the path of where I want to go, I have to prepare for the path itself. And I think that there can be truth to that. So let me give it more of a more practical example, because I can feel myself becoming very abstract. So for instance, I know that there's a place in the world that I really love, that I really adore, and I would love to be there right now. And I know the kinds of foods I would love to eat. And right now, like, for me, my question is, what else do I want there? Like, to put myself in this scenario as much as possible. So the question kind of that comes within before starting with what we have and from where we are is getting clear on what we want. So, like, that's for me. Okay, I know where I want to be, I know the kind of foods I want to eat. Do I know the kinds of people I want to be around? And do I know the kind of daily activities that I want to do? So, per me, for me, I think that means for me. Just imagine. I'd like to be more social than I am right now. I'd love to feel a community, like have a group of beings, be connected with a group of beings. So, how to get there, to be able to connect more with people and feel more free to connect with people, is continuing the inner work that I'm doing, which is called integration work, which is thought by Teal Swan in relation with parts work as well. You can search up parts work or integration work. I've written about it in my second to last blog post. It's called Manifest Results or Manifesting Results. So I recommend checking that post out if you haven't already. If you'd like to learn more about the different parts that we have within us and my personal experience with that. And yeah. So that feels good, because in that way, okay, I can see how I'm on my way towards what it is I want. So now, like, hobby-wise, work-wise, how would I like to sustain myself? Mm. So good. So as I'm inquiring within myself what it is, ways that I would like to make money, take care of myself, I feel this internal aspect of me that resists it, that which is an energy that you've seen on my channel for sure if you've been here before, where I talk about being able to make a living off of living, like rather than thinking that you have to do something to survive or make money, that you're, and that's based on my belief of us being capable of having a society where everything flows in a way that supports the natural balance, the natural abundance that is present in nature. And so there's a frustration internally in me that rebels against participating in money making ways because there's a questioning of why. Like, yeah, just wanting to rebel against that. And it's connected with sorrow. Like I can feel it in my chest. There's a sorrow there. So I'm being with this aspect of myself that feels the sorrow. And right now I'm seeing it as a part of me. Like, I love this because it's so different. It's, I can see it as a part of me that's crying, like hunched over. It's really sad. And I'm just being with that aspect of myself. I noticed that I have a lot of thoughts surrounding how I'm being perceived. I think obviously because I'm recording a video and I'm wondering whether I'm going to share it or not. Okay. So I just got a oh, what just happened? Okay. Hopefully everything's good. I just got a glimpse into a possible scenario, which is being in a like dance hall, like a place where ballerinas go, where dancers practice, place with a mirror and like an empty room. And I'm imagining being the host, so people coming in and I'm welcoming them to the space, and we're about to have a session of enjoying ourselves, enjoying our bodies, stretching, strengthening, embodying, freeing, liberating. And getting to a place of doing that requires of me to move outside of my comfort zone, for sure. And even allowing myself to think of that scenario feels challenging. It's like, oh, I don't know if I want to be open to that. And then all the questionings, how would that even be possible? How would I meet the right people, get to the right place? All these questionings, reasons to not be open to that idea. And I can feel the me that would require of me to be present with and as. The me that I feel very comfortable with in my own space, in my own time, but when people come around, I cover her up. I'm like, okay, let me present myself in a way that feels safe, a way that for me feels safe to be present, you know? And I think it's natural for us to adapt to a certain point to every environment, but I think with me, and I think with a lot of us, we adapt so much that we let go of parts of ourselves, parts of our joy, parts of our passion, our love, our enjoyment of life, because we think it's safer to be this version, right, of ourselves. So the first thing that I wrote down was, with let's begin by getting clear on what we want, I wrote down freedom. And now as I'm imagining myself in this studio with people and we're about to enjoy the session, that feels like freedom to me. It feels like I'm playful and I'm excited and I'm ready, I'm willing. And a part of me wants to believe that she has her shit together, you know, that she's perfect now. Like she made it to that place and she has all her shit together. But then I think that's what makes what we want feel so unattainable. We begin thinking that the version of ourselves that is capable of doing what we want to do is perfect. And as soon as we make it perfect, it becomes out of reach because nothing is perfect. There's always going to be something that has room for growth, something that can be better, something that needs to be worked on, because that's how everything stays alive, stays in motion. There's a reason to continue on because there's more to attain, more to experience, more ways to grow. Mm. And I just want to imagine that I'm showing up in that room with some fear, the part of me that is afraid of hosting a crowd of people, feeling responsible for their enjoyment of the session, their experience. And I want to imagine that someone starts crying. Someone in the room starts crying because of some insecurity. And my initial response was to ask the person if they want to join me outside of the room. But I think that's like what we're so used to when it comes to sad emotions, especially crying. It's like, oh, we have to hide. Don't cry, you know? It's weakness, it's bad. Yeah, I'd rather sit down with her and ask her what's going on. I'd love for the room to be a safe space, supportive space. I feel like the lights are dimmed. There's some background music, some meditative music. And she's free to go into as deep or as shallow as she wants to, whatever feels resonant for her to do in that moment. There's no rush, there's no pressure to move on with the session. It becomes a part of the session, you know. My pen seems to be done. Alright, but I really like where this went. Now I feel clear on what I want. Do you? Have you been taking notes? How do we get what we want? Start by getting clear on what it is we want. And then, in connection with starting with what we have and from where we are, we can begin looking at what is something I can do today that moves me in the direction of where I want to be. And like being honest with ourselves about where we are. So another point could be writing about where you are. Where am I right now? Who am I right now? And looking at the things that are your strengths and what are your weaknesses in relation with where you want to be. What you want for yourself. So a big weakness for me is trying to be presentable and carving off parts of myself or polishing away the things that I don't think are what's the word, welcome. Playing it safe as well. I'm not so goofy and playful when I'm around people. Like here with the family, I noticed the young boy was like playing around, goofing around, and I was thinking to myself, like, I'm quite goofy when I'm around people that I know, like my family, people that I feel safe with. It's not a lot of people, honestly. And it takes a certain mood. Like some days I feel more courageous than others, or more, it doesn't feel like it takes courage some days. It just is, you know. So I'd like to be more in charge of that. And a strength that I have is that I'm stretching. I'm stretching weekly. Um, and I'm practicing self-awareness and diving deep into myself weekly as well. Just had another idea for how to facilitate a space with other people that would be beneficial the way I see it. It's exciting. I'm going to end the video here. Thank you for watching. Sending love your way. Yeah, feel free to share your thoughts and feelings with this video or with your own path, with your own journey. In the comments, it helps with the algorithm for my YouTube channel. And yeah, see you next time. Feel free to check out my website. I have been a bit more active there recently. And my Instagram as well. I have all the links in the description box if you're interested. Thank you for subscribing to those of you who have, and those of you who like the videos as well. You are appreciated. Alright, bye-bye. Bye-bye, Miss American. This will be the day that